Hey, what's going on, guys? Battle Nation Zimper here, back today with another Archives video. And today, guys, we're going to be reviewing Battle Nation's Developer Q&A Part 2. So, in the last Archives video, we discussed the Q&A Part 1, I guess, or I guess the first Q&A. They would end up doing another Q&A, and this one's super later on, and they ended up calling it the exact same name of the first one. And this one is still covered by our boy right there. I think he's called Stock Options in this one. Let's see. Yeah, he is called Stock. I just remember him adopting the name Stock Options later on, but it's funny because in this video, which we already watched, he was introduced as Jordan. I'm pretty sure that's his actual name, Jordan. But he would be kind of the head of Battle Nations for the longest time, and he's still in this one, so gonna be a good video. But before we start off this video, I just wanted to share this little video, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's only 21 seconds long. It has 5K views on the initial Z2 Games page and only 32 likes. Make sure to drop them a like, give them one more. Pay respects to Fallen Legend. And let's go ahead and watch this film real quick. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Where is everybody? Dang, just so good, so cute. And yeah, I'm really glad we got more animations like this, and I hope we see more from Madrona Games. And I'm sure they'll have to get into the rhythm of capturing this animation style, but this comics animation is just so freaking good, man. So yeah, this was them, of course, traveling to the outpost. Morgan and Floyd. Are there any comments on this video? Oh, this is sad. I love the game. Keep it up. Because normally it's just comments saying, "Oh, I missed the game." This person didn't even know. Go ahead and drop them a like in. Can't you make things that cost nanos cheaper? From 11 years ago, and it has 0 likes. I'm going to give this man his first like. I like to imagine he's still active on YouTube, and after 11 years, I just gave him the YouTube notification of, when your comment gets first like and it says somebody liked your comment. I like to imagine I just reminded him of this video. So, yeah, I just want to start the episode off real quick with this little guy because I thought it was cool. And without any further ado, let's come over to Q&A part 2. Let's drop a like on the video, and let's get into this watching with Jordan and the other guy, or I guess Stock Options in this video. So let's get it started.
Hey everybody, welcome to our second developer Q&A for Battle Nations. I am Stock Option, and with me I have Avery Close Call, who is joining the Battle Nations team. We're going to be going through some of the questions.
Hey Avery, I love his hair. He's got red hair. Also, I think the volume's up. Oops. Yeah, I think the volume's good right about here. Let me know in the comments below. We can definitely adjust that in future episodes, but I think this is kind of the sweet spot.
You guys asked on our forums, and yeah, let's get started.
So Battlebomb asks, why did the ninjas hunt down Floyd?
So that whole storyline kind of started off as a Back to the Future reference.
Great Scott.
Great Scott indeed. So,
Great Scott, and also just got
future reference.
pause
Great
this.
Scott.
When he dips his head, he's got the little Z2 hood. Man, I wish we could still buy this stuff. I'm sure if anybody still has this, you can probably throw it up on eBay for like $100, and you'll probably get a sale because that's vintage right there. If anybody still has that,
What?
Great.
there we go. Yeah, dipped his head a little bit more. Z2 hoodie. Man, not even hoodie. A beanie. Man, that looks really good. Just a little Z2 on the side. Crazy.
Great Scott indeed. So we thought that Floyd kind of looked like Doc Brown. Thought it'd be kind of fun if, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, he freaks out because the Libyans are after him. He's not sure how they found him, but they're coming. It kind of spun off of that. But you kind of know Floyd as this mild-mannered, peace-loving scientist. It's possible that his past is slightly darker than you'd think. So keep an eye out for that as well.
Our next
Very nice. So we of course know Floyd is a truck driver, as he said. He's the peaceful love scientist. But a little darker backstory. I wonder what they would have planned that out to be if they had the option to explore that a little bit more. That sounds interesting.
question is coming from Ben Whitaker 25. It says, General Ash, is he going to return all angry over his Marin defeat?
So General Ash doesn't really get angry, he gets even. So be on the lookout for him getting even.
What a perfect answer. And also, of course, this is before the end of the campaign, or their ending of the campaign at least. So, of course, the Siege of Morn had just happened. You got to play that, and then a little bit after that. But we didn't even get to see, the Emperor strike, the siege of the capital. Of course, what ends up happening to Ash, which I'm not going to spoil it in case anybody's new here and you want to explore the story yourself. But just know, it's pretty good cinema, and yeah, it has a decent ending. Ash's story has a good ending. Of course, that story of Battle Nations didn't get a good ending because it was shut down. But Ash, he thankfully got his story resolved, and yeah, he definitely did get even. We could say that for sure.
All right, Alon84 asks, are you thinking about adding more weekly challenges like the Ancient Construct?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, as a sneak peek, in 2.8 there's going to be a new Mega Boss. Can't say much about it, but we've got a little bit of a preview for those of you watching the video, so check it out.
Caprice Zero.
That's so freaking cool. So the Ancient Construct started out as a weekly challenge, and then they teased the Sentinel heel. I mean, they didn't even really tease it. They just showed basically his design model.
Bit of a preview for those of you watching the video, so check it out.
That's crazy because that's quite literally what he looks like in game.
For those of you watching the video, so check it out.
Yeah, that's his final model and everything. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Let's go ahead and double check real quick. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that is his final model. Crazy. And yeah, they just tease it here, but it makes you wonder what it is. But I'm pretty sure we can all kind of guess just from the imagery. I'm sure people even, 12 years ago could have guessed, showing off a very cool looking guy. Ancient Construct was alluded to before. It's basically the bigger and better Ancient Construct, the Ancient Sentinel. Soon.
Caprice001 asks, how can I send a love letter to Zoe?
All right, so it's a little bit of a tough nut to crack, but Zoe at z2live.com.
Whoa now. Zoe at z2live.com. Alright, gamers. Let's see. Zoe at z2live. Was it .com, I believe? Oh, wrong one. Yeah, it's z2live.com. And I looked it up instead of put it in the search bar. Slap it on in. And it won't let me search it. I know for a fact it's not up, so I don't know why I'm trying this. It's just me being stupid, but I wish it would let me at least try to go to, it just tries to hyperlink me to the z2live.com, which even it isn't up, so I think that kind of spells, the end for whatever. I imagine it was a little prank, probably something funny. I just wanted to see. But, of course, we're long gone from that.
Which is right here, Zoe at z2live.com. And she'll read all your love letters. No promises on responses, but feel free to send your proclamations of love to that address.
Wow. I said this in the previous videos. I just want to give one quick warning in case this is your first archive video. I'm having to pause and interject a lot of stuff just because YouTube told me, if you want to keep doing these, gotta have interjections. Fair enough. Don't want to get any copyright trouble. But yeah, I love this little smirk he's got too. Look at this man. He knows what he's doing.
And if you win or love, be careful because people might show up and start dueling you, so.
It didn't work out well for Morgan. All right, our next question is from Glimber, and he wants to know, what is the story behind the rebels?
Oh.
That's a big story. The truth of the matter is, like all rebels, they have a cause that they believe in, and they see themselves on the right side of a conflict. I think that's kind of up to you guys to decide. I think the most interesting thing so far is that General Ash, obviously a thinker, decided to defect. And can't give too much plot away before you see what's coming in the third chapter with 3.0, where we're going to come back to the rebels again. But I'll just say, if General Ash knew everything going on, he might be questioning his decisions.
Oh, so that is so unbelievably good. So, okay, of course he is talking in the process of, halfway through their story, but he's alluding to something even after. So I'm going to be really careful here because I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody new. But after Ash's story, after he does his stuff, he, says, somebody is controlling the rebellion. I don't think this is really a spoiler, but he does, of course, talk about the mysterious puppet master. And I think even 12 years ago, I think that's what they're alluding to. And that angers me so much because we never got a conclusion. We don't know who the puppet master is. It sounds like he was alluding to the puppet master right here. Somebody above the rebellion itself controlling it from behind the scenes. And the fact that they had that planned out 12 years ago from in 2013, yet never got to explain it fully, that sucks, man. That's hard to, grasp with. I really hope Madrona Games is able to play it off, and I really hope maybe even they know. Maybe they could contact one of these guys. I'm sure one of them has got to have an answer. Jordan, please, can you tell us now that we don't know, or now that we know? Man. Anyway.
Back to the Rebels again, but I'll just say if General Ash knew everything going on, he might be questioning his decisions.
That's definitely alluding to the Puppet Master, no doubt in my mind.
So our next question comes in from Natalie. Who is Ikki's avatar image, and will we be seeing that unit in the game?
Cool. So Ikki's avatar image was named Analyst. That was about as specific as we got. She
Whoa. Female Morgan, look at this.
was some concept work that was done when we were first building the first.
When Morgan was a female. I can't get over this design. I used to send a meme like 3 months ago, but dang. Imagine if we had female Morgan. Okay, I really want to hear what they have to say from this full stop, so I don't care about copyright right now because I need answers.
Specific as we got. She was some concept work that was done when we were first building the first draft of the story, and she didn't really make the cut for the final game, but who knows, you might see her in the game in the future.
So analyze this.
All right.
She would be a slight side character, have a little bit of dialogue, but nothing crazy, unfortunately.
Limber asks, are we going to finally know who is Yankcha?
Well, yes and no. Actually, for Valentine's Day, we have some special content coming up all around Yankcha and some of her suitors. A lot of duelists coming, not only for Morgan, but for his compatriots. And as a little preview, you're also going to get the opportunity to unlock some really cool new statues. So should we show them?
Sure, let's show them.
We have, okay, so if you're under the age of 18, please cover your eyes. We have
Oh, no.
kind of a racy photo
Oh, God.
of
Wow.
Yankcha. So we're going to bring that up. If you're young, just go like this.
Wow, she's beautiful. Both Kitchen, that's how she ended up looking in game 2.
Super romantic. So you're getting all the romance questions today. Oat99 wants to know, will you continue the Ramsey and Cassidy romance?
That's a good question. Actually, we just today started writing the story for a little bit of an expansion on the romance there. And I will share only one detail, that things are a little bit rocky in paradise sometimes, and it's only a real relationship that makes it through.
Fair.
EvilStir99 asks, when do you
What a
plan on
username.
making Chapter 3?
Oh, very soon indeed. First off, we're running out of numbers that could come after a decimal point.
Got 2.7 and 2.8 planned. They're
I don't like the idea of 2.10.
2.11? That
I'm
just
not going
sounds
to do
gross.
that. No.
I don't like it.
No, actually, we're really excited about Chapter 3. We're wrapping up some of the work on the penultimate chapter in the current story arc. And as we might have let slip earlier, we are moving forward with some of the core storyline we haven't touched in a little while. So keep your eyes peeled, and if that's not a specific enough answer for you, this year.
This year.
Fair enough. We get it.
Eduardo1983 asks, how come there are no more black nanopods, but we still have the labs?
It's a good question, and you should definitely hold on to those labs.
I want to hear what he says, and then I'll give what they were actually used for.
First off, you can never quite wipe out an infection like that. So there's the occasional infected soldier running around in the world map. Also, there might be more coming pretty soon. So
You never know when those zombies might crop back up.
they're not zombies, they're infected, man. Show some
Infected.
sensitivity.
So sorry.
No, dude, Jordan, you're right. They are zombies. As somebody who loves this game, they're definitely zombies. Come on, man. But yeah, of course, they would end up recycling it a few times later, pretty much for every single Halloween. But the second Halloween, they would end up adding several units. They added the Bigfoot zombie, which was incredible, and various other units. But I really liked what he said over here, the idea of roaming infected, like every so often you'd find a group of infected. I think if, infected were a random encounter, like super rare outside of October, I think that would be awesome. And then, of course, October, have like every single random encounter be infected just for Halloween, I think would be pretty cool. But yeah, I really love his answer on that, but not the zombies things, but also, keep it around because, yeah, it would end up be used for every single October. They would recycle it at the very least, even the last October. But normally they would add even a few new units and, of course, bring back the infected boss strike every October.
So, question from Star Wars is cool.
I got to agree.
Which
Oh my goodness. Based alert? Yes, I agree 12 years later.
I totally agree with. So, you pretty much got your question answered because your name is so awesome. Why does every population increase come with a level cap increase? Why are those tied hand in hand?
Well, as always, game balance is an important issue. We want you to have the right number of people, the right number of workers, and the right number of houses for your level. But it's not always tied to a level increase. In fact, in 2.6, we're releasing a building called the Permits Office.
What does that do?
My goodness.
It's an example of how sometimes a bureaucracy can work in your favor.
Greasing some palms a little bit?
A little bit.
All right.
So there are people working inside the Permits Office, and given the right number of pieces of gold and nanopods, sometimes they might authorize you for just a few more people than the standard Imperial protocols would allow. So check out the Permits Office, see if you can't increase your population cap a little bit higher than most outposts of your level, and what the Emperor doesn't know can't hurt you. All right, so the
What was that last part? Nevertheless, though, seriously, I mean, a great answer. He turned in, explanation about game balancing, which is fair. You can't have unlimited housing, otherwise my entire base would just be hoovels. But the introduction, how he turned it into an introduction of the Permits Office. For anybody who doesn't know by chance, the Permits Office is a massive building you can build, and upon upgrading every single time, you get an increase to your population, so without even having to level up. As he alluded to, though, it's very expensive, can cost nanopods, but it's definitely worth it because you can obviously get more housing, get more population. But the concept that just wasn't even in the game is so foreign to me because I think about housing, and one of the first things I think of is the Permit Office. You want more housing than your level provides, go to the Permits Office, and also how bureaucracy can work in your favor, absolutely, especially when you're building it.
what the Emperor doesn't know can't hurt you. All right, so the atomic bomb asks, how do you calculate the amount of SP you get for each enemy unit?
That's a great question.
Gotcha. So the amount of SP that you get is based off of the unit's PV, which we've talked about a little bit previously in the past. It's a stat that we use to do most of our PvP matchmaking. So units of, or armies of similar strength can go up against each other. So it's some math based around that, and basically the better the unit, the harder the unit, the more SP you'll get for killing it.
And now PV is a hidden value, right? You can't
It
look it up
is.
on the info tab.
Yeah, it's a stat that we use in the back end just to make sure that we try to make fair matches. And it's not something we want people to math out really hard. It's just trying to make sure that we create the fairest matches possible. And those are values that we actually tweak a fair amount on the back end to make sure that we're creating the best PvP matches that we can.
Fair.
QOP wants to know, is the PvP reward for 40 points completely random, or is it weighted on win-lose performance?
Whew, that jump scared me.
It's random. As for most things in the game, if it's a random loot drop, something like that, it really is just random.
Maybe I was too locked in, but Ian legitimately jump scared me right there.
A lot of times, it's a lot easier to do it that way. We're not trying to pull any sneaky weighted stuff on the back end. Yeah, random numbers.
At the same time, you should still try to win every one of your battles.
You can get it done faster, and you can feel pretty cool while doing it.
That's the Emperor's way.
I like winning.
Yes,
Do
sir.
the developers have Battle Nations accounts, and do they play them regularly?
Yes, we all do. So we all have accounts on what we call production, which is in the regular servers with all of you. We play those, and we also have a bunch of accounts on a bunch of different test servers where we can test different configurations.
They had 99 nanopods before with cool. Also this side eye right here. But man, yeah, of course they have their base accounts with all of us. I feel that's just any good developer. I imagine Madrona Games is going to do that as well. And then imagine having your own Battle Nations test server. That's got to be a flex, man.
New server updates, new client updates, all that stuff. So we're playing a bunch of different accounts all the time. You might know some of our accounts, like I'm Stock Option, although I have a couple secret accounts as well. Not telling anybody, but we all play a bunch of accounts and play a bunch of Battle Nations here.
Opstoction.
Opstoction, my secret identity. I've been ruined. Eternal Rookie wants to know, what is Z2's approach to quality assurance testing, QA, before pushing out an update, and what will Z2 do in the future to avoid repeat buggy updates?
Oh no, what a great question. Who asked this?
Update, and what will Z2 secret identity? I've been ruined. Rookie wants to know. Eternal Rookie wants to.
Eternal Rookie, you're over here asking the questions. So, as we would know, this would eventually fall apart as stuff would get recycled. I mean, we're looking at the golden age of Battle Nations. Also, as we discussed a little bit at the beginning of this video, stock options eventually ends up leaving, and it's these two guys, and they're responsible for the later of Battle Nations, which, you know, we can talk about that in detail later. But man, what a great question. I really want to hear how they answer this, and then we can maybe discuss how it fell apart.
To know, what is Z2's approach to quality assurance testing, QA, before pushing out an update, and what will Z2 do in the future to avoid repeat buggy updates?
It's a big question, and it's a little technical, so if you want, skip ahead if you're not into technical stuff.
Oh, no.
If you are, I'm still not sure we're interesting enough to keep your attention.
Talk about game development for a little bit. Why not? It's fun, making games.
So the truth is,
I mean, look, man, I really want to know this answer, and I know it obviously didn't end up working out, but I want to at least hear what the idea was.
QA is really kind of challenging, especially on a game as big as Battle Nations. And we're not only working on really one game, we're working on many different versions of the game at the same time. So right now, 2.5 is out. We still need to be working on 2.6. 2.7 is in development, and all those need to be tested separately. So we've got a really good QA team with one guy who's dedicated to it full time, as well as, what, 3, 4 other QA testers?
Yeah, at least.
They come in whenever there's an update for them to look at, but then they move on to other teams. So they're working really hard, but they're also working on all sorts of different environments across all sorts of different levels in a game with tons of content. Meanwhile,
It's so weird to see. I know I've said this in basically every archive video, but it's so weird to see them playing the game I love in 2013. I mean, I know that logically makes sense, obviously, but it's crazy.
the development team is 12 to 15 people, and they're also working their best to get rid of any bugs. The fact of the matter is, when we get out to millions of players or millions of sessions, we end up with a lot more things turning up.
Yeah.
And we actually prioritize that stuff really quickly and try to make fixes as fast as we can.
Yeah, lucky for us, our game's on the server, so a lot of those bug fixes we can fix just right away. Some of the stuff require client updates and takes a little bit longer, but most of those issues that you guys have seen in the past have been server-side fixable, which is awesome for us and for you.
Yeah, so hopefully you don't have to download for most of our bug fixes.
Yeah.
And
So some of the bugs that you guys might have remembered recently, something like the land expand issue, we put out a level increase, land expands weren't there with it, that was just misconfigured. Designer forgot to put in land expands along with the level increase. Luckily, something like that can get pushed out over the server right away. So slip through QA, that stuff happens with a game that big, and yeah, we really try our best not to do that in the future.
And not just trying our best, we're constantly changing our practices, updating our tools, and sharing information with each
Definitely.
other to try to make sure that as the game, even though the game keeps getting bigger, we get better at testing it.
So a lot of people have
Let's be honest, it was the buyout. I don't blame either of these boys. He has some of the funniest pauses. I swear, every time I pause this video, he's making something like this face. Look at that. You could turn that into a meme. But nevertheless, I don't blame it on either one of these two guys. I don't blame it on this current team. I blame it all in the buyout. But that's a story for another day.
asked, what's a day in the life like at Z2?
It's rough. Some things are hard to describe, and you just have to see them. I think you're ready for this.
It's gonna be grim. Let's go. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Welcome to a day in the life at Z2 Live. Got my coffee from Cafe D'Arte, delicious on the corner. We all love it. And yeah, we'll take a quick look at what we do here for work. Come on, let's go. So settling in here at my desk. First thing in the morning is usually catching up on email, and then pretty early we do.
Brother, is that Justin Bieber? I think that is Justin Bieber. My goodness, this is so 2012.
Stand-ups where all the teams get together and talk about kind of what they're working on and if they're blocked on anything to make sure that stuff's going along well and we're getting our updates out. We have Avery Close Call here who's chatting with our designer. Looks like they're in deep thoughts. We won't bug them, but yeah. And then after that, it's a day full of meetings and making sure that everything's smooth sailing. Let's go talk to the team, check out Battle Nations team, and see if they'll say hi. Let's go. Here are the Battle Nations team. And hey, it's nighttime. Doesn't matter. Magic editing. Woo. If you follow any of our employees on Instagram, this is a frequent picture that a lot of people post. It's beautiful. So this is the Battle Nation team. Say hi, team. Hi, team. Hi. Hard at work. We just
I hope these people are still doing good today wherever they are. Also, Patriot over here just looking at an American flag.
shipped to 6, which will hopefully be
Oh,
on the
and I thought that was his screen. I think that was just a flag in front of his screen.
Hard at Work. We just shipped to 6, which will hopefully be on the App Store soon, and they're hard at work on 2.7 already. right, this is the art team of Battle Nations. Got our animators here who are working on some
There's that ancient sentinel you were talking about earlier.
new content.
Yeah, look at him. Because that's pretty much done and done. I mean, I'm sure they're probably having to code his attacks, balance them, all that stuff, but that's pretty much his final model right there.
Lasers. And then over here, we got one of the new splash screens that one of ours looks pretty cool. Got some fried chicken for lunch today. Very exciting. It's my favorite.
Gosh, that looks bloody delicious. Man, why did this company have to shut down? I still can't believe we're watching this over a decade later. All of these people are disbanded. Nobody works at this company anymore. And this is a relic of the past. But that fried chicken really does look good, man. I would teleport, not even just to ask them questions, just to eat this fried chicken. Is that mashed potatoes back there? Bro, why were they eating like kings? I mean, they were kings, let's be honest, but dang, this food looks good.
Tongs. Hi there. The day in the life of me, I guess. Hi.
Are we really doing this?
You're
What
on
are we
camera.
shooting for?
Dev Q&A. What's a day in the life like? I get yelled at by Dwayne a lot, so yell.
So, Trade Nations?
Oh no. I lost IR.
Beautiful.
You can pretend to do work.
He's mad at me. So most of the afternoon is spent having meetings, going over what we're going to put in the next updates, looking at what's going on in production, which is the server you guys play on, making sure that there aren't any new bugs or issues, planning what we're going to do on exclusive weekend content, if it's a new unit or some sort of sale or something fun. And yeah, that's kind of the day of the life at Z2 Live. You guys liked it?
That was beautiful.
See? Rough.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what else to say. You should come work here.
We are
I wish I
hiring.
could.
Z2live.com.
I wish I could, man. z2live.com/jobs. z2live.com/jobs. I wish it worked, man. I would pay to work there, man, just to have the experience.
/jobs. Which slash?
/.
That way.
Forward slash.
Yeah, people
It's
say
gonna be that way on
backslash
camera.
all the time with internet. It's not backslash.
Well, it's /, but which way is forward to them? That's forward to them.
Yeah,
/ that way.
jobs.
Done.
And while we have your attention, might as well bring it to these awesome collectibles, which
Wow.
are available on our website. So you can go onto battlenations.com/store, put in the promo code
Battlenations.com/store. Battlenations.com/store. Oh, it brings us to Madrona Games. How about that? That's actually pretty cool. All of the other ones just were kind of a dead link, but this one brings us to our boys. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Flame Boom. Flame Boom.
And of course, if you have either one of these, you can sell them for a massive markup. But I wouldn't. I would say
If
they're
you enter
part
that
of
code, you
history.
get 20% off of your purchase when you buy them both.
That's a smoking deal.
It's pretty awesome. So check it out, and you can make them do some pretty awesome stuff. You can get them to set them up and have them fight something, some explosions.
You can arrange them.
Yeah.
Like so,
Probably won't stay, but you could try.
or like that.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
So check them out. Pretty cool.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Just beautiful. Also, it just, yeah, it definitely did kind of, even just this channel kind of felt away. I felt that this really should be called Part 3, but I genuinely think they forgot about Part 2 because this one was, 12 years ago, I believe? I believe it's 12 years ago. See, this show less, and yeah, this was 12 years ago, so this episode should be called Part 3, but they just called it Developer Q&A like the first one, Part 1. But is what it is. This was perfect. This was beautiful. I really liked where they showed us what they do. And man, absolute cinema. So guys, that will cover another developer Q&A. I really like this one. This one was a trip down memory lane. I hope you guys had some nostalgia for it. Well, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of these type of Q&As. Would you like to see Madrona Games do a Q&A like this? I personally would adore that. Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, that will just about do it for us today, guys. Guys, if you're still watching this, if you watched it all the way through, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate you. Please consider dropping a like down below and subscribing to the channel if you are new. And with all that being said, that will do it for us today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, have a great rest of your day.